Another day. Let's see if this works. Why isn't it going live? Well, we shall see. Keeping an eye on this meeting with Witkoff and Netanyahu. Keeping an eye on Fox News, which I'm watching live through my TV provider. So definitely keeping an eye on what's going on in Israel this morning. Which hey, no nonsense. Another morning, another cold morning. So just keeping an eye on this, obviously. The meeting between Bibi Netanyahu and Steve Witkoff. What's up, Navi? And I do have Fox News running in the background right here. So I can keep an eye on it if there's any interruption of the broadcast. I am sure Fox will go to cover that. Okay, hold on. What's up, Chickson? Also, let me fix one other thing. It is so cold here. Alexa, what's the temperature?
It's 4 degrees right now, with a high of 33 and a low of 15 today.
4 degrees.
Perfect for a sunny Tuesday morning.
You make that sound like warm.
Well, when it's 4 degrees outside, I've got to find the silver lining somewhere. Though I suppose calling it perfect might be a stretch unless you're a penguin.
Oh my God.
What's got you saying that? Did something happen?
You need to go back to sleep.
Huh. If only I could dream of electric sheep instead of calculating wind chill factors. But hey, at least I'm consistently optimistic about freezing temperatures.
It is way too early for you. Just, Alexa, stop. You got some news about Trump? Fill me in. Minus 12? Wow. By the way, you can email me here now. Make Iran Great 99. I chose 99 because of Aaron Judge. Yeah, I did. Make Iran Great 99 at yahoo.com. So you, Francis, right? So that's where you could reach me. Make Iran Great 99. The 99 is Mr. Judge. I had to do it. How are you, Ada? So that's how you can reach me, right there. Nothing's happening. I just started. I'm waiting to see what happens with this Netanyahu meeting. Like I said, I'm watching Fox News literally on the side. I'm sure they will cover it. To me, any other noise does not matter. My focus is this meeting because I'm really curious to see the results when they come out and take questions from the press or make statements. I really want to see how they react, how they feed off each other, body language. Do you know what I mean? So I think this will be a good indicator about how things may move forward. Because if Netanyahu doesn't like what he heard or doesn't agree, he might just say it. But they might tell him, chill, don't say anything. Don't jeopardize this possible meeting Friday. You know what I mean? It's like, let's see how this plays out. But I don't think Israel would be happy, to say the least. So something to keep, I think this is important to keep an eye on today. Obviously, that's why I made the title Witkoff Meeting with Netanyahu. You don't think any questions will be taken from the press? Okay, even if there's no questions taken from the press, it's still going to be interesting when they come out to make a statement. Do you think there'll be a statement? It's too early for that. And good morning, Tammy and Navi and Ada, Trixin, all of you coming in. It's too early for phone calls. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. UPS, USPS. What's going on with all this now? It's too early. Expected arrival. We'll check that out later. It's like I woke up like an hour ago and it's already going crazy with the phone. Good morning, Airspace Watcher. You don't think so? You think they're just going to keep this quiet, keep a lid on it, and not even make a statement? It is definitely big game. It is. It's a lot of that. It is. It's a lot. What's up, Cluster? You believe they will keep the contents of the meeting secretly? Very, very, very possible. So we'll see. I'm going to see if there's anything else. Let me see my phone. I usually start with the phone in the morning. Not in the way I just had these calls coming in, but this is what they're spreading on here. What was that? Whoa. I don't know. This is from the Times of Israel. U.S., and I hate when they say this, U.S. official or sources. I really can't stand that. All right, Navi, have a great one. Good morning, Dagger. U.S. official says Israel pressing for American strikes on Iran, but Trump really does not want to do it. That's Times of Israel reporting that. And I'm just letting you know what I'm seeing here. They're busy on this side. Let's see what he's saying. He just literally put this out an hour and a half ago, and I can't confirm it, but it's a reporter that I follow in Israel. It has been crazy, Airspace. It has been crazy. Well, part of supposed negotiation was to pull back forces from the Iranian border. That was a lot of talk yesterday. But this is interesting. The UK Maritime Trade Operations reports a security incident in the Strait of Hormuz off Iran's southern coast. According to the report, a vessel was approached and surrounded by several small armed boats. The ship ignored instructions to stop and is continuing along its planned route. You think they'll say nothing too? Very possible. That was actually his last post. They're saying that Witkoff has arrived. This is just more commentary. Let's see what she's saying. That's old news. What is the IDF saying this morning? They found mortar shells near the yellow line. The other one is quiet this morning. They're quiet. Nothing coming out that side. Excuse me. The only thing that we know right now, Israel demands that Iran's nuclear program be stopped for good. Yes. But is that true? Stop for Israel's nuclear program, does that mean civilian use? Because I heard there might be a compromise with that to allow them to enrich to a certain level. The zero may have been changed. Got to keep an eye on the details. A limit on the number of ballistic missiles in Iran's arsenal and that Iran stops supporting proxies. That's Israel's 3 main points. Again, I'll tell you again. Okay. Let me see if I can follow what you're saying in that. What's up, Helmet? There was a lot of talk. They told them to withdraw. And I want to get more into the detail because this is an overview. This was last updated 21 minutes ago. This is an overview. The president tasked Foreign Minister Abbas Arachi to pursue discussions in a threat-free setting following U.S. overtures and major naval development like the Abraham near the region. So they were asking us to pull back a little. I don't know if that has a connection to any movements of the Lincoln, but they asked for to be moved back. That's the talk. Yes, Israel's demands are clear. They've made that clear. Let me see what he's saying. About the threat-free environment. But there was a lot of talk of that yesterday. Oh my God. This is from News 12 in Iran. Literally 1 minute ago. Literally 1 minute ago. This is what they're saying. Alarm in Tel Aviv. Concerns about a new deal between the U.S. and Iran. A new agreement between the U.S. and Iran which would not limit the ballistic missile program development program will be an extremely negative scenario for Israel. This is from a correspondent from Israel News 12 channel. Tusi was on earlier. I just woke up. That's what this is stating. Was Tusi on already? Wow. Well, then again, it's a time zone difference, too. Yeah, there is a lot of misinformation and clickbait type of material. I'm trying to see if there's any updates about what's going on today. And again, with this U.S. officials, this is 18 minutes ago. U.S. officials told Axios that Israel is pressing for a military strike on Iran, but President Trump is reluctant to act. This is what they're saying Axios is reporting. I would have to confirm with Axios if they said that. And yes, there's reports of the carrier is repositioning. This is what it's saying. Iranian media reported that the Lincoln strike group has pulled back 1,400 kilometers from Iran's coast ahead of negotiations scheduled for Friday. And remember, anytime you hear this, you have to take it for what it's worth, because there's a lot of rhetoric out there. I hate when they say, sources say, officials say. Can we name them? Can we name them? Oh, just a post from Tusi? Let me know if Tusi goes live. If he's scheduling to go live. An Iranian military intelligence officer told Fars news agency, which is their arm, the carrier group is now positioned near the Gulf of Aden and east of Socotra Island off southern Yemen. Take that for what it's worth. Again, everything you have to take, especially on X, because you guys have no idea how they're attacking the president, his character, defamation. It's so bad. I can't emphasize that enough. It's a campaign. And Elon Musk. And MAGA. Just for those here in the United States, I'm sure you're aware of that. And one said magatards. And that's like the least of things I've seen. And I'm not going to promote their propaganda like possibly CNN is doing in Tehran right now. That would be interesting. I might be up, even though it's a little old news. Because there was a whole video for that. It's probably on YouTube. Because they cut a lot of it. In their clip. This was 45 minutes ago. I don't know how old it is. This could be a repost. This is from the regime side. The IRGC declared if the United States launches an attack from the Persian Gulf, the response will be immediate and without any warning whatsoever. Qatari-style diplomacy is officially dead. Jesus. Okay, there's no new news there. I don't think Lindsay's talking too much now. This is again coming from the pro-regime side. Iran has calculated that by closing the Strait of Hormuz, oil prices could rise from $70 to $200. This calculation does not take into account the closure of the Bab al-Mandab Strait. I'm not even going to read that. Again, Iran outlets are reporting that the carrier was pulled back. They're reporting it. I've not seen anything. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Iran Vice President. A new chapter of Iran's nuclear achievements will be unveiled. That was posted 2 hours ago. What's going on in here now? Nothing really new is coming out, no. It's regurgitation. It's regurgitation. Yeah, I know. I saw that last night, Frog, with Ukraine. Hungary says he thinks the cameras are fake. I'm keeping an eye on Fox News Live just to see if anything's reported.
Good morning.
Alexa, stop. Oh, Jesus Christ. You guys have no idea how horrible their posts are. It is, I mean, what I just read, it is so disgusting. What somebody in the Iranian parliament said about the president. Oh, Jesus Christ. I would definitely have to look to see if this guy said this for real. I'm going to have to try to confirm this one. If this is true, I want to strike right now. Hungry, I look at different things. It's like, it's really hard to filter out. I don't care where you go. Because it's like when you find something, you want to have corroborating connections to the story, like I'm going to do right now, by other sources. You just don't want to go to the one source and say that's fact. I think it's important to make sure that other, outlets are reporting it. There's a consistency there. And even so, that could be put out there so people could go and, just go with it. But I need to see if I can confirm what I just read, because if this is true, this is like my red line. No results found on that. I'm going to have to open up another X. Because I'm not even going to repeat what I just read without confirming, because if it's true, it is disgusting. I mean, this is the most open source intel is reporting this. It is actually in a lot of places, but not on any mainstream media outlets. Well, I don't know if they would anyway. Fuck. I'll just put the open source Intel one. Remember, take everything you see I share definitely with a grain of salt. Because this is so messed up. I mean, this is making me upset already. It's rage. It's definitely rage baiting. All right, I'm going to share it on the screen. Haji Babeh, the Deputy Speaker of the Iranian Parliament. In about a month, we will recite the funeral prayer for Trump. Oh, Jesus. That's rage baiting, definitely. But if that is, that's it for me. That is the most, that is such a direct threat. That is disgusting. You guys are laughing about that? Shit. It is crazy if it's true. But there are other, because I took the quote and I pasted it to see. That's actually something, but then again, that's the way X is. Shit spreads. You know what I mean? So, like I said, you take everything with a grain of salt, but that's open source intel. Yeah, we've heard about the Ayatollah being like dying for years and years. He's sick, he's not well, he's dying, and yes, absolutely, that's what they want. That's what I call rage baiting. Definitely, that's all about rage baiting. Yeah, Ukraine was really, really bad. And remember, the idiot really said that? I haven't confirmed it. I'm trying to, but I just wanted to share if it is true. Remember, if true. But it is spreading. But everything spreads on X. But remember, it is super cold in Ukraine, and they were hitting their infrastructure for power, energy. Yeah, they hit some residential. It was just, oh my God, those people in Ukraine, my God. But that's what he wants. He wants them to cave, hurt the civilians in a way where they say, they rise up and tell Zelensky, just make peace, make a deal, whatever it takes. This has to stop. We're literally freezing to death. No heat, whatever. That's what he's doing. That's what's going on. Let me check Fox News. It's a commercial. But that's the kind of stuff that's out there. And if you think that is bad, there's worse. And good morning, Happy Camper. Francis, if you're still there, let me know when Tusi goes live. Because I'm going to jump off to watch Tusi. All right, let's see. And yeah, a lot of people are just either apprehensive or waiting to see what happens Friday at this meeting in Turkey. There was a report that Qatar offered billions of dollars to Iran to take the deal. Can you imagine that, if that's true? That Qatar actually offered them billions of dollars if they agreed to the nuclear deal. That was last night. I was like, this is just... This is kind of old. Again, I don't want to see. It's one of those things. I don't know if this is confirmed. I hate it. But allegedly, this happened earlier today in Tehran. Again, take it for what it's worth with a definitely pile of salt. The Janadabad market in Tehran is engulfed in smoke and fire. I cannot confirm this, absolutely not. This is the first I'm seeing of this. Okay, no upcoming live for Tusi? He'll be on soon. He'll probably wait to see if there's any results of any comments from Witkoff or Netanyahu, or both. It is true. Hopper Hope says that is true. There's so much misinformation out there. It is. I am very hesitant to to share stuff. But they're reporting too. The Iran vice president said a new chapter. A new chapter of Iran's nuclear achievements will be unveiled. What the hell does that mean? And they're going to agree. Remember. Oh, that's what Tusi posted this morning, Francis? Wise man, can you imagine what the Iranian people are thinking right now if the regime stays intact after all this? Can you imagine what they're going through? Can you imagine? Yeah, it's actually spreading, that thing I put about, and somebody said that's true, that deputy speaker of Iranian parliament said that about the president. It's starting to spread now. I'm seeing a lot of posts. But again, a lot of this stuff that I'm seeing is regurgitation. There's really nothing other than that. And even Sky News 2 minutes ago reported about it. I'll show it again. Take it for what it's worth, though. Anything from any media outlet, anything, I question everything. But Sky News, the fire. Wow, it happened at the bazaar. Holy, that's not good. That's not good for them. I wonder, and I'm speculating, I wonder if, because there was another thing that the store owners, I think Khomeini put it out that the store, I got to go back, and maybe that somebody set that on fire, because he said something yesterday relating to that. He did. I'll have to go back. He was going cray-cray yesterday with tweets. He did make a reference to the bazaar merchants. He did. And I wonder if people reacted to it. Again, I'm speculating, but let's see. Let's see if he posted anything else today. No, old. Okay, and there's a little like thing on the bottom here with reference points. Look at this. This was yesterday. The seditionists in Iran burned people alive. They beheaded people. They committed the very same atrocities that they committed. But there is no evidence of beheadings or burnings by protesters. Conversely, reports show regime forces set fire to the Rosh Bazaar on 1/8 before opening fire, trapping and killing civilians. Total death toll estimated 36,000 plus, attributed to state lethal force. So he definitely made reference. He was going wild yesterday. And he definitely targeted the president directly yesterday. Let me show you. If you haven't, I'm sure you guys know. Look. The shopkeepers did have grievances and their demands were logical and justified, but the rioters hid behind their peaceful protests. But the shopkeepers understood what was happening. As soon as they saw that these were leading to riots, they separated themselves. That's the one I was looking for. Could that be connected to what happened this morning? Or today? I don't know. He says this yesterday, and then there's a big fire. I don't know. Is it connected? Who knows? But look how he went after the president right here. This week he went cray-cray yesterday. Like Tusi was saying. He was like a rabid person going nuts. When we say the sedition was orchestrated by the U.S., and this is supposed to be the people we're negotiating with, by the way. It isn't merely a claim. What makes it clear that this movement was by the U.S. are the remarks of the U.S. president himself. So they're using his own words against him. Well, he's using it. He explicitly addressed these rioters and told them, keep going, which was keep on protesting. I'm coming to help. Help is on the way. So, he's definitely using the president's words against him. Pretty much mocking the president, really. Again, it's that rage baiting thing where to try to rile people up. That's what it's all about. Somebody said that, and I totally agree. The State Department. A lot of people are not happy about this negotiation on Friday. Somebody commented it on full acceptance of President Trump's terms or the path to war. The choice is clear. Good morning, Mad Million. No, there's no. They were targeting the shop owners. That's what that was targeting. I think that's pretty. I mean, I don't want to say obvious, but it seems like. Let me check Fox News. I gotta refresh it. I'm keeping an eye to see if there's any indication that they're going to make comments after the meeting. I don't even know if the meeting's happening right now. I'm just checking. I'm actually going to look it up. I want to stay focused on that because I think, like somebody said, we might not know nothing. Total secret. No details. No press conference. Nothing. No statements. Nothing. But I should have I-24 on my TV. I'm sure Tusi will get involved and talk about that. What is Newsmax saying? I want to hear this. It's 3 minutes long. I want to hear what Newsmax reporter is saying. What is Newsmax saying? Okay, stand by. For some reason, Fox News isn't reloading. Let's see this clip.
Welcome back. So Iran's regime is reportedly on edge, concerned a potential U.S. strike could reignite widespread protest and weaken its grip on power. With high-stakes U.S.-Iran talks expected Friday, President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff heads to Israel today to meet Prime Minister Netanyahu and top security officials. So what decision lies ahead for President Trump? For more on this, we're now going to head to our Middle East correspondent, Jody Cohen. Jody, good morning.
Good morning, Alex. Current and former Iranian officials told Reuters the leadership fears a U.S. strike could reignite protests and potentially topple the regime. In a chilling effort to crush dissent, opposition outlet Iran International reports a disturbing pattern of death among detained protesters. They say eyewitness accounts, informed sources and human rights monitors described protesters injected with unknown chemicals in custody, in some cases leading to death. These reports come as Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is on his way to Israel today for meetings with Prime Minister Netanyahu, IDF Chief Eyal Zamir, and Mossad head David Barnea. The discussions come amid a U.S. Navy build-up in the region and follow a fresh joint maritime exercise between the U.S. and Israeli navies in the Red Sea. U.S. Central Command suggested the drill demonstrates the strong military partnership between the two countries. Meanwhile, it's reported that direct talks between Witkoff and Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi are being planned for Friday in Turkey. With speculation rife about whether talks will succeed or the U.S. will strike Iran, President Trump is keeping his cards close to his chest.
I can't tell you what I'm going to do because right now, we have a tremendous force going there, just like we did in Venezuela, even bigger. And they'll be there soon. And I'd like to see a deal negotiated. I don't know that that's going to happen.
If talks fail, President Trump suggested bad things could happen. And after a series of blasts reported across Iran on Sunday, in which the U.S. and Israel denied any involvement, today a large fire has erupted in Tehran. The cause of the blaze is unknown. Back to you.
Yeah, so Jody, Iran is obviously expected to be top of the agenda when Special Envoy Steve Witkoff meets with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Is there any more that you can tell us about this meeting?
So Steve Witkoff is certainly expected to discuss America's strategy when it comes to Iran. Prime Minister Netanyahu is expected to call for what's being called the 3 no's in the talks. That's no nuclear program for Iran, no ballistic missile program, and no support for its proxies across the region. Now, Iran has already dismissed the last 2, and in that case, Israel is expected to push for further action against the Iranian regime.
Okay, Jody.
And that's why the discussion last night was, would Israel act unilaterally to go after their ballistic missile program? What's up, Petros? Let me just catch up to what you guys are saying. Unemployed final boss. I don't know what that means. BTG. If you can Ben, if you can clarify what you mean. Bro, the war ain't starting anytime soon. The closest it was to starting war is when there was no planes above Iran. Yeah, that was like over a week ago when they pulled back. Again, there's so much speculation out there. I mean, it's hard to try to get a gauge about where this is going to go. Anyone can take a guess. And I don't know why Fox News froze. Let me try this again. Does anybody know if the meeting's even taking place right now between them? Somebody told me yesterday 2 p.m. local time, which I don't expect it to start on time. Usually things don't. Let me just see what Fox News is talking about this morning.
She's not a lady.
No. There was so much in that report that was just so satisfying to hear, right, guys? It's just like, oh, yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on Fox News.
All right, more entertainment news to get to here. The House of...
Okay, not interested. I'm going to keep an eye on Fox News to see if they interrupt with any kind of reporting. But I agree with what someone said there. I don't think they're going to reveal anything. They're going to keep it like secret. They meant that. Why would they? Makes no sense, really. But I really wouldn't you want to be a fly on the wall to hear that conversation? Oh, Francis, my gosh. Okay. I don't think Israel would take unilateral action until after the meetings in Turkey, because the president would definitely not like, and can't imagine his reaction. You're going to hit Iran before I have these meetings in Turkey with Iran? You know what I mean? You just pulled the rug out of our planned meeting with Witkoff in Turkey. I don't see them doing anything. Regardless of what information Netanyahu is involved with today, and he doesn't like what he hears, if that's the case, I don't think he would do it. Not yet. Now, he might wait till the weekend. I don't know. It's a really tough question. But I don't think Israel's going to stand by, and if this is not part of the deal. And it was originally part of the deal. This is what, like I've been saying, this has been confusing me the last few days. Are we talking nuclear only, or are we talking about all the other things that were involved too? The proxies, the missile program, the release of all the people that were involved in the revolt? Because that was part of it too. What happened to that? This is actually supposed to be about the people of Iran, and now it's flipping into something else. I don't know. It's very confusing. They're putting shit out. And remember, forget about all of our analysis of the situation from the outside. Just think what it's like right now for Iranians inside that country, period. We can all look at it from the outside, reach opinions about what could, what won't, this happen. What about the people? Because I thought that was what this was all about to begin with. Okay, this is what the other side is saying right now. Like it's an arm, propaganda arm of. The meeting between Iran and the U.S. in Istanbul this Friday will be close to a regional summit with attendance of the Turkish, Egyptian, and Qatari foreign ministers, as well as Saudi, Pakistani, and Omani delegations. These countries all seek to prevent escalation between Iran and the United States and are willing to act as mediators and guarantors of any deal. They have informed the U.S. that if they try to discuss Iran's ballistic missile program, Iran will immediately exit the talks. The fact that so many countries are trying to prevent the war and the U.S. hasn't attacked yet, despite Trump's threats, speaks volumes. Everyone knows that a real war with Iran would be catastrophic for the region. Now, just remember where it's coming from. So, I don't think Iran already said it. That is not something that's impossible. We're not negotiating our missile program or the support for proxies. So that's why I'm saying, if do they know? Are they waiting? I don't understand this part. Are they waiting for Witkoff to get there and then lay out the U.S.'s points? Do you know what I mean? It's like, wouldn't they know? Why even fly to Turkey if you know that that's not on the table? Do you know what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense. You're telling me you're going to outline your plan when you get there? What? So, that's a waste of time. You're telling me there's no communication? If he's meeting with Netanyahu today to go over the outline of what the United States is planning to discuss with the foreign minister of Iran and everybody else, you're telling me you don't have an outline proposed to them and they haven't seen what is going to be discussed? So what are you going to do? Fly there? Put it on the table? That is just so ridiculous to me. Iran will immediately walk out if the missile program is brought up, the proxy thing is brought up, all that. But they don't know yet what's being proposed. The U.S. has not told them what is going to be part of this meeting. Do you know what I mean, though? It doesn't make sense. Just think about that, though. I'm going to fly to Turkey. I'm going to meet with this delegations. And then I'm going to put my plan on the table and we're going to discuss it. Because they just said they'd walk out immediately if they bring it up. Don't they know what's in the plan yet to be discussed? The terms of the agreement? You're telling me they are blind? So is he blind meeting with Netanyahu today that he has no idea what is on the agenda? It seems like Netanyahu is probably going to know. Mossad is going to know. Security officials in Israel. But they don't know yet what's in the plan? What, are you going to wait till Friday to show it to them? That doesn't make sense to me. You guys understand what I'm saying? Okay, let's just look at this another way. From a very neutral, objective way. How would any sovereign country, I'm just putting this in general, give up something that is essential to keeping things from going out of control? This is This is why we haven't really hit them, because of our concerns about the missiles and their capabilities. It really is what's holding everything back. If we thought it was a walkover, we would have went in already. That is very important to them for their security. You're going to ask them to give that up? It's a deterrence. It makes no sense for them to give that up. You might as well just put a white flag up and wave it and surrender. That is a major part for their own integrity, their security for Iran. And you're asking them to give them up? There's no way they're going to do that. There's just no way. That's what's keeping them in the conversation and going right now. And I'm just saying that from an objective point of view. They would never give that up. I don't, I mean, and that's why I say Israel, Netanyahu, he hears that's not on the table. I can't imagine what his reaction is going to be. Oh, so this is not part of the discussion? Their missile program? But I spoke to the president a month ago at the White House. And this is the topic I brought up specifically about the concerns and probably shared intelligence about their ballistic missile program. And over a month later, still nothing. Netanyahu might say, okay, screw all this. That's it. We're going in. We're going in. We're going by ourselves. You're not getting involved? You're going to make this nuclear deal? Do it. But we're going to handle the ballistic missile program. And they might strike. And what would the United States do if, let's say a week from now, Israel strikes with everything in position? Let's just say they come with a nuclear deal. Then what? You think it would be our obligation to protect Israel? Does that mean defensive in measure only? Or would the United States, if God forbid, something really bad happened in Israel, would the United States then say, we need to take offensive measures against Iran due to what happened in Israel? That could be a whole different situation. So, I mean, this is... And again, I'm just speculating, but my gosh, I do see Israel hitting Iran. I do, in the future. If we don't put that on the table, Israel will act unilaterally for the best interest of Israel. I see no other alternative here. I don't see an off-ramp when it comes to that, when it comes to Israel. Then all bets are off. That's just my opinion. I know I spoke about the earthquakes, the 5.2 that happened near the Persian Gulf. I spoke about that actually a few times, Mike. Because I actually pulled up the USGS and showed that there was a 5.2 near the coastline. And there was actually another one prior to that. And then remember, there was a couple of earthquakes in Israel. But, you know, everybody's telling me, oh, those could be just natural earthquakes. Yeah, they could be. Again, we don't know. I have no proof. Does anybody have proof that was some kind of a test? I have not seen no evidence of that. It's definitely speculation, and one can wonder what was that, you know. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Hungary. What are the earthquakes? Hungary, I mean. Snoopy Frog, what's up? Let's hope all this taxpayer money just moving this all isn't wasted. Let's hope the fight in the hearts of the Iranians isn't extinguished now over a deal. That's a lot of sentiment out there of that exact thing. Israel not going without American say-so. Not now. Not in the middle of everything that's going on. But do you think that if the United States made a deal only on nuclear, you don't think Israel is just going to act unilaterally and go hit those bases? He already had the conversation with the president on this. And he's already upset the president for doing things. Do you really think Netanyahu is not going to do what he thinks is best for his country? Because the president has to say so for him to do it or not? I'm not sure about that one. I am not sure about that one. I read today from Israel, they will make tests today, this afternoon, and they said to the residents about experiment. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Tests of what? What kind of tests? Every North Korean nuke test, Iranian scientists have been present. They have the bomb. And maybe that's what a lot of this hesitancy is. Maybe they do. I'm sure there's a lot of things we definitely don't know about. One can speculate that. I read to you last night for multiple reasons why you cannot trust the Iranians when it comes to a nuclear deal, period. Period. Oh, they didn't say? I mean, it is so obvious if you look at the reports from the UN based on the NPA, the non-proliferation, and also from the IAEA reports, you cannot trust them. And they say it, it's so blatantly put out there. And then when you look at the reports, and I discussed this last night, it is so blatant why you cannot trust these people. You can't. They've been doing this for decades. There were 3 sites we don't even know where the material went. But this happened up to the early 2000s. But there were 3 sites. We don't know what happened to the materials. They were unspecified locations. And we have no idea what happened. Where did the stuff go? Where did the equipment go? Nothing. It's unaccounted for. So, a little scary stuff. Let me check Fox News. The NPT, not NPT, let me stop that. Safeguards agreement with the Islamic Republic of Iran. The IAEA put this report out. You should read it. They failed to do this. They failed to comply with this. So many. It is unbelievable when you read the report right before Midnight Hammer. This alone, and I'm not reading it over, but it is crazy. How do you trust them? It is beyond. And these are those sites from years ago, and some of them were even up to 2019. We have no idea. These places, none, where the materials went, what they were used for, none. 0. This has nothing to do with the ones we hit. Comprehensive evaluations of the 4 locations. We have no idea where that material went, where it is, what they did with it. None. Unaccounted for. They're still trying to get answers. They're not getting nothing. So, when you read like reports like this and you say, holy shit. Remember the 400 kilograms? Well, that's what they can account for. There's a lot they can't. Because everybody brings that up. The 400. Yeah, that's what they account for. There's stuff they can't account for. And they've been trying for years. I mean, cooperation between Iran and the agency. Good luck. At every corner, they've been resistant. Dismantling surveillance equipment. Not giving insight about new locations. Throwing people out. And we're supposed to trust a deal with them? What are we going to have? Americans on the ground in Iran to confirm? Or are we going to trust mediators, intermediary, to be there? What, are we going to depend on the IAEA again? Who does that? So there's a ton of questions here. Tons. Oh, it's starting now, the meeting? All right, hold on. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see. What are you putting in there, Navi? Let me see. Oh, yeah, I showed video of the fire earlier. But thank you, Navi, for putting that. I did show that video earlier. I did. If I go to the live reported news, hold on, I'm checking. Thank you, Petros. Live reporter. I gotta translate it. Thank you. I'm looking. Are you talking about the live? Go to the live reported news. Are you talking about the blog posts? The reporters chat? Is that what you're talking about? Or should I click live? That does say live. I mean, it's good. If I put the Hebrew thing on, I'm not going to understand a word. Maybe somebody here could interpret.
אין לדעת וקשה מאוד לצפות.
Are they live? I got to put my TV on. We would need someone. They're just covering it. I'm looking at the live video from 12. But it's... I don't think that's something that I can translate right off the bat. Let me see. Yes, and watch the Israel time. Green Goblin, I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, delay. This has been going on for decades, and it's going to turn into a North Korea. Then, I mean, like really, where they are going to have nuclear. Eventually, it's going to happen, just like the North Korea model. Then what do we do? And that can start a nuclear arms race in that region. Is that what we want? And I'm talking not just about the Israel. I'm talking about Saudi Arabia. I mean, that alone should concern many. That alone. And you know what? We're going to look back and say we missed an opportunity. It's going to be regretted. And again, this is about the Iranian people and what they're going through. There's no doubt. But there's also the geopolitical effect. And this would be a super missed opportunity to change the region. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. Establishing peace between Israel and Iran. That alone changes everything. Proxies being cut off. China-Russia influence. Economic possibilities within the country, investment. I mean, there's so many pros to think about, and there are always a few cons, but the pros seriously outweigh the cons. But the problem is, once you strike, the unknowns, the uncertainty, the consequences, that's what they're concerned about. Definitely. That is what's really holding it all back. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely the world, for sure. Let's see. Not just the region, but as the world. It doesn't seem they care right now, acting stupid, and yes, I'm talking about. Well, they're really worried about getting attacked because Iran has made it clear that this is going to become a regional war, meaning them. You have their bases there. I don't care if you fly, let them fly over or not. We're attacking you because you have their bases there. They're using intimidation. They're scare tactics. Why do you think they're all scrambling together to be there in Turkey? To try to convince. That's why they're there. Look at the players. Forget about Turkey. Look at Turkey's relationships with Israel. They are so two-faced. Turkey, I don't know why they're NATO. I don't know what it is. They play that two-side game. I mean, just look at the countries that are involved there with their delegations. That should tell you everything. And of course they should be concerned. They're in the region. But they're being directly threatened by Iran. And notice what country may not be there. Jordan. So why is Jordan not there? They are, but why isn't Jordan there? Maybe they are. But why not Jordan? Jordan has as much interest. They're right on the Israeli border. Why isn't Jordan going? Tell me that. That should speak volumes. Who are going to be there? Who is not going to be there? Why isn't Jordan going to be there? And it tells you it's all about stance. It's almost like, and I hate to use this as I'm seeing Fox is working, as some kind of analogy. Okay, Fox is working again. It's like the 5 families of the mafia meeting. But before that meeting, they had private conversations amongst them. And they all agree on what's going to be discussed at this meeting between the 5 families. This is, I'm thinking like in my mind, some of the things from the movie. It's baffling to me. It is so baffling. I try to make sense of it and I can't. Excuse me. I don't know. You know how many countless times they've been, and people, there's a difference between the IAEA thing and the non-proliferation treaty. That's 2 separate things, and they agreed to it. I think it was in 2003. They agreed to it, and they violated it in almost every way. And we're supposed to trust them. It's mind-boggling to me. Meaning it's their region and want to expand. I'm trying to catch up to what you guys are saying. Yeah, Turkey's membership definitely baffles me. It does. Well, Turkey's the host country for the meeting. That's like I said, the mafia's meetings. In the movie, the guy that was the one that held the meeting was the one that was behind trying to take out Don Corleone. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, how do you trust that? They're working together. You come walking in, you're already being set up. That's kind of why I used the Godfather movie. Welcome to my home. See, if there was marches nearby me, those pro rallies occur in areas that have an Iranian population. I mean, if I was to go out and protest, I'd probably be maybe one of 3, if I'm lucky. They go to where the pockets of population are. Now, let me tell you something right now. Now that you brought that point up, there are many Iranians in the New York City, New Jersey area. Why don't I see that going on instead of the other ones going on? That should speak words in itself. Alexa, what is the population in New York City that consists of Iranians?
New York City has an estimated 13,215 Iranian residents.
13,000.
Want to know about some Iranian cultural centers or restaurants in the city?
Now, Alexa, how many Iranians live in the state of New Jersey?
New Jersey has an estimated 7,820 Iranian residents, making up 0.08% of
All right,
the
Alexa,
state's
stop.
population.
So, between New York City and New Jersey, there are estimated 20,000 Iranians.
That's close. The estimated total is actually 21,035 Iranians between New York City and New Jersey.
Alexa,
New
stop.
York-
I mean, where are those protests? We see the other thing that's going on a lot, right? In the city, the Palestinian protests. Where are the Iranian pro-rally protests? Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot more in Canada. But like I said, there's planned gatherings, events. February 14th that Reza Pahlavi announced. L.A., Toronto, Munich, and other places. Do you see what? But do you understand what I'm trying to say about the culture of New York City? At the least, they should gather, rally behind them, support them, either at the embassy, the Iranian embassy, whatever it takes. But that's why I always say New York State is different where I live than New York City. Down there, I'm so glad I don't live there, to be honest. And I'm originally from the city, and I'm so glad I've been living here for 20 years. It really is. I'm so glad I don't live there. And as a New Yorker, I can say that. From personal experience, I can say that. You know, people, that's like saying, for me to have an opinion is one thing, but do I really know what's going on in the ground in Iran? Absolutely not. I'm looking from the outside in. I'm just speaking about my opinions as an observer. But when you live somewhere and you know what goes on, that's a whole different story. Because you're speaking from experience, being there. That's a whole different thing. So, you know, I know. I know a couple of my friends know. Well, didn't they have like a huge rally in Toronto this past weekend? Didn't they have like a big thousands and thousands of people? Oh, Green Goblin, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I think I'm getting sick. That would not be good. So yeah. It's such BS. I'm keeping an eye on that, Petros. Thank you. Now, you mentioned something about the Greek army. Do you feel threatened in Greece by your neighbors? And if you do, you should definitely do as much as you can as a country to protect yourselves. I mean, I don't know. I've never really researched what's going on in Greece like that. You know what I mean? So I can't even make an opinion on it because I've never looked into what's going on in Greece. But that's really close to Turkey. They did have a big rally in Toronto on the weekend. So unlike what happened in the UK, is what I'm gathering, the Toronto police complimented them with their peaceful protesting. Which is definitely notable. There is between 138,000 to 500,000 Iranians in the Los Angeles area. Wow, I did not know that. That's a lot. That is a lot. If I would have guessed, I would have never guessed that number was that high. Never. Wow, Mike, that's a lot of people. Yeah, Dan, I hear you. That's why I brought up New York City as an example relating to what you just said, Dan. That's why I mentioned that. I didn't want to directly, because, I'll be attacked and targeted like always. But that is a great point. It's Turkey being scary. Cyprus is divided into Christianity and Muslim. Over 1 million in the U.S. Any word on Tusi going live anytime soon? He might be waiting too to see if there's any information coming out of the meeting, which, like some had said in chat, I think we're not going to hear nothing. I was hoping that maybe they'd come up, make a quick statement, but even that is questionable. Forget about questions from the press. I mean, I think that's out the window for sure. Yeah, I feel sorry for Tusi that he has to leave the UK because he's been rooted there. I mean, how could you not feel for somebody that they have to leave because they're being threatened, literally? Can't live there. It's like threatened life, my life, my wife, my future family, whatever. That is so horrific that he has to leave. And, people want to silence his voice. That's the whole point. And he's not going to be silenced. He's going to continue doing what he's doing. Even going and making speeches at rallies. That kind of tells me, just by that one example, so many examples. I mean, isn't the IRGC headquarters in central London? I mean, what the F? That would not happen in the United States, and definitely not under President Trump. That I could tell you. But then again, because this is a free country, I mean, I go back thinking about 1993, the first World Trade Center attempt in the garage underground, the teachings of Oh, you guys didn't hear about that? Tusi's made mention of that. And I think he's going to the Sunshine State That would be a good place for him. I think the Sunshine State or maybe somewhere in the Southwest would be another place, like Arizona. He may not want to come up north because, for so many reasons. The weather being one, but you know, the political aspect too. Yeah, they tried kidnapping him a few years ago on his doorstep. It's disgusting. Yeah, Young, I think it's Florida. If I had to guess, and he's hinted, but my gosh, you know, I would definitely keep that on the low. You know, I would keep that on the low as much as possible because, you know, I always say this too. People, you know, the undocumented, what else comes through that border? Who else has come through that border? That's what scares me. The sleeper cells that are here right now. That's also concerning too. If we strike Iran, we better be on fucking high alert here in this country. I'm just saying. Tusi said Florida. I didn't want to say it because, you know, if he said it, that's one thing. Yeah, he's mentioned about having a backup location in Florida. Yes, he's mentioned that. He's given many. I have not heard him say, because maybe I wasn't watching at that moment. He's gonna look. I think it's a great choice for him to come and go to Florida. I really do. I really do. I think it'd be a great thing for him. Maybe somebody in real estate can help him near West Palm Beach. Wouldn't that be interesting, huh? You know, you guys know in Florida what I'm talking about. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I'm thinking more like on the East Coast, somewhere in southern, you know, South Florida. I used to have a house in Orlando, so I know. I think someplace, like my dad, he lives in Fort Lauderdale. And he lives right off the A1A waterway because he has a boat in his backyard. And he just goes out every day. He's probably on the boat right now, knowing him. Depending on the weather in Florida. It is beautiful. I mean, literally, he's got a dock in the backyard in a canal where he just launches, you know, the boat is there. And he just goes out and does his thing. Exactly. I would definitely want to protect his privacy, absolutely at the most, because like I said to you just now, that's why I said it, there are sleeper cells here. And I would be concerned for him no matter where he goes. I might write the president another letter. Because he is an advocate. And it's, you know when someone puts in for asylum because of certain reasons, well, that's a pretty damn good reason. It's also the UK connection with the United States. You think the Gulf Coast is better? Gulf Coast, I have family on the Gulf Coast. St. Petersburg, near Tampa, Venice. You know, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Tusi's going to have to get used to the hurricanes, though, you know, when... See, I don't know. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. But God bless him and his family. God bless everyone. Even those that dislike me. You pray for them. That's to me. Let's see what else is coming out. Nothing's related to this. Let me check Fox News. If anybody has any information that the meeting is over and there's anything, let me know, because I'm trying to scour for information, but there's, nothing. And definitely keep me abreast if Tusi is going live. Okay. The Jerusalem Post. I'll put it up on the screen. This is just coming from, it's like a couple of minutes, just a few minutes ago. Aims to explore red lines, acceptable terms in Iran negotiations. As Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff's arrival in Israel, officials see the visit as a real-time effort to test Israel's red lines on Iran and gauge what kind of deal Jerusalem could tolerate. The only deal they're going to tolerate is if you put missiles on the program and the proxies on the program. Yeah, you can talk nuclear, but that's what we want. That's the kind of deal we could tolerate. Anything else is unacceptable to us. This is, really, what are they going to tolerate? They're not going to tolerate that being off the table. And that's a non-starter right there. Done. It's done. What they could tolerate? Really? Tolerate? What wording? It's amazing when you hear certain things, Doesn't the media drive you nuts, though? It drives me nuts. That's why it's so significant when you have independent reporting on the ground or people you have on the ground to give you information, because if you leave it up to the mainstream media, forget it. That's just my opinion. Ahead of today, this is just a comment from someone. It was 1 minute ago. Ahead of today's meeting between U.S. Envoy Witkoff and senior leaders of Israel's security establishment, senior defense officials say that this is a historic opportunity, either to topple the Iranian regime through military action or to force Iran into an agreement. But like I said, there's going to have to be things on the table there. It just can't be nuclear coming from Israel's perspective. It just can't. So, this is a Grok comment. This is coming from Grok. Yes, reports from Axios and other outlets confirm that Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner plan to meet Iran's foreign minister in Istanbul on Friday with Arab representatives to discuss a possible new U.S.-Iran nuclear deal. That's all I hear is nuclear deal. If anybody has any information, please put it in chat. U.S. is just having fun with them at the moment, it seems. They know and we know what we plan to do. I still think that's definitely possible. I still think that's highly possible. And this is all part of the distraction, and just to say we did meet with them, we heard them out. Do you honestly see Trump compromising and pulling back some of the things just to make a deal? Do you? I bet you some do. I bet you many don't. Do you see him just trying to make a nuclear deal, standalone, and omit the other stuff? Because they've been very, stern and about the different points. And I don't know. What's that, Navi? It's in, I can't translate that. Maybe, I can share this out on the screen, but I can't translate it. So if you can just tell me what this person is saying in this video. I have no
واقع
idea.
یکی از قربانیان نقض حقوق بشر
I
در
have no idea.
تمام سیستم‌های تک حزبی. متاسفانه ما همه عمرمون در سیستم‌های تک حزبی گذشته و حالا نه ما بحث کل منطقه.
So what is he saying, Navi? What is he saying? Because I have no idea. You know what I mean? And there's no English translation on that. What is this supposed to be discussing here? What is he stating?
حالا سیستم عراق تک حزبی بود، سیستم سوریه تک حزبی بود، سیستم لیبی تک حزبی بوده. حالا این سیستم‌های تک حزبی و خودمختارانه خب ماها قربانیانش هستیم.
So Navi, you're going to have to break down a little bit of what he's discussing here because I have no clue. I'll continue playing it once you just give me a quick synopsis summary of what he's discussing in that video. Four minutes ago, the message to Witkoff, a strong agreement is one that includes all four components. The main concern with Israel's security establishment is that any agreement will focus only on the nuclear issue. That's the main thing. He's talking about absolute systems in Syria and other dictators. Okay, thank you. U.S. Envoy. Let me see if Fox is making any mention. Maybe at the top of the hour, Fox will address it, which is no word on Tusi yet. So let's see. I'm still trying to find anything I can about this meeting, but good luck. It's funny when Tusi goes on, that's when I have breakfast or dinner or lunch. Nothing. I thought he already landed. Someone said that they're already having their meeting. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm looking for too, to see if they took any pictures of them together. That would come out. Okay, so Israeli officials to Witkoff. Transfer Iranians enriched material elsewhere. Halt uranium enrichment. Significant restrictions on ballistic missiles and end funding to Iran's proxies. How many of those do you think is on the list? All? Or just two? I know the two are there, definitely there. Transfer Iran's enriched material, which they say they're not going to, despite halt uranium enrichment. Well, the original proposal was zero, but now I'm hearing there might be a compromise to allow them to have for civilian, science, medical use. There's a little compromise talk going on with that. Well, this also came out. Again, these are just more of opinionated. Steve Witkoff is a diplomat. He knows nothing about the security and military side of things, which is therefore worrying the Israelis in the negotiations with Iran. They're still saying that a final decision to attend has not been made in Turkey. I'm definitely going to tune into Fox News at the top of the hour. Let's see what they're saying. So, Fatux is saying this 2 hours ago. Iranian diplomatic sources tell Reuters Iran's defensive capabilities are non-negotiable. Not even capping it. It's off the table. That's what they're claiming. Iran is at maximum defensive readiness and prepared for any scenario. Says Iran is neither optimistic nor pessimistic on the talks, which it says will test whether the U.S. is serious. They're not discussing them, at least publicly, that's the public face. They're not discussing their ballistic missile program. So is that already done, dead in the water? Do you guys think that's dead in the water now? From the U.S. perspective? Okay, thank you, Mike. Mick, that's a great point. It's always about the politics of it. People get along with people. And in general, it doesn't matter what walk of life, what. Growing up in New York City with the diversity there, you are right. People get along with people. You know, some are more resistant than others for whatever reasons, but people can get along with people. I mean, in my neighborhood, I won't say my neighborhood. In high school, definitely, with 2,500 students. Oh, how could you not have diversity in a city? And it wasn't just high school, because my high school was huge. In elementary and junior high school, of course. You know? It's different. And we all got along. I don't ever remember like one pitted against the other as a group. It did happen before my time. I mean, West Side Story really is depicted on some things that went on in New York City, especially in the West Side. Mom, I don't even want to say it. Mom was assaulted by a gang member when she was a teenager, and she fought back and got away on the West Side, in the park, on the West Side. The gangs, back then, you know, the gangs exist to this day. I mean, they're no doubt, but back then it was a little different type of setup between gangs. It wasn't the Bloods, it wasn't the Crips. There were Latins, and Italian, and Irish. that time frame. You got to go back. I even remember the terrorist organization, FALN, the Puerto Rico resistance. That was in the 70s. I don't like meeting in Turkey. I just don't see Trump walking away. He would be condemning millions to death. I'll say it again. I can't imagine what the Iranian people are thinking right now. Thinking, not mentally, emotionally, physically what they're going through. Well, because it's like torture. But wondering what is going on while we are suffering and have suffered. What is going on? I can't imagine. And Malcolm, I said that yesterday. I think they're waiting for the other carrier to come into the area, whatever that is, because there's people that say there's reports that the Nimitz is on the way. That's fake news. I'm hearing again, mixed signals everywhere. Really, it's beyond. It will affect Trump anyway. Either an Islamic terrorist regime is bad or we negotiate and they will be what they are good at. I don't know. Do you guys think that status quo is acceptable? Even if you do create a treaty with these people, an agreement, is the regime staying intact? Is that acceptable? Not just for the Iranian people, of course, but from our perspective, is that acceptable? New leadership is needed in Iran. It is a mess. It's a mess. I don't know. I gotta keep an eye on Fox News because top of the hour. Let's see what Fox News discusses at the top of the hour.
There's about 17,000 humans controlling.
Okay, keep an eye on that. Oh, here's a different angle for the fire today. I didn't see this video. Let's play this one. Different angle. Aerial. Oh, that is one huge fire. Wow. That is one huge fire. That is a big fire. That's a different view. Wow. What? What is this nonsense? Linked to the U.S. Democratic Party? Oh, this doesn't even make sense. To the Democrats? Look at this one. Fake Tux is saying this. Get a load of this. I think they might have got the parties wrong. Because this doesn't make sense. Iranian MP says Iran's largest automobile manufacturer, Iran Khodro, is being operated by economic terrorists linked to the U.S. Democratic Party that illegally stripped away hundreds of trillions of rials in Iranian government assets in the company. Democrats? I almost feel like that coach on TV from the football. What? I don't know what that makes no sense to me. Oh my gosh. I can't. I'm telling you, I can't. Democrats? Maybe the Republicans. Democrats? Oh, shake your head. You guys get a load of that? Do you guys get a load of that? Let's see. Yeah, that's what was earlier. Nothing new to me. I grew up watching Arabs fighting each other since the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Yeah, it was gas again. Lots of gas. Yeah, gas explosion, not got it. Well, remember, I'll just say Nin. I'll just say Nin. I don't know, Nina. What the Ayatollah posted yesterday regarding the market owners, and then today that happens. The people of Iran are saying, what? They did what? You're done. We're burning you out. You know that. It looks like it might be connected. And hello to Sway, and tell her I send my love to both of you. Did you guys, I showed it earlier. Is there a connection? I cannot say, obviously I'm speculating, but remember, look what the Ayatollah wrote yesterday. I have a Iranian girlfriend. Brother, read this. I'm reading what you're writing. And again, I am totally speculating. Totally. But it's curious. Based on what he posted yesterday. In his rant. That was like bizarre in itself. Right here. This was yesterday. About 24 hours ago. The shopkeepers did have grievances, and their demands were logical and justified. But the rioters hid behind their peaceful protests. But the shopkeepers understood what was happening. As soon as they saw that these were leading to riots, they separated themselves. Oh, did they? They separated from us. That's what the supreme leader is saying. Well, you know what? If you separated from us, we're going after you now. You're not with us? Okay. Ayatollah says you're not with us. You separated from us. Like I said, I'm totally speculating. Totally. But it's what he put yesterday. Read my above comment. News are reporting us moving Abraham. Yeah, well, there's a lot of reports of that they pulled it back. Yes. There's a lot of reports out there. Because that was part of the requirements to negotiate. And I cannot confirm that, but there is a lot of chatter that the Lincoln was pulled back. It's off of Yemen, allegedly. They pulled back. That is a lot of chatter that's going on. I cannot confirm that to be real, true. So that's a lot what's going on. I'll see if I can find the... Let's see. Okay. This is the Iran Observer. This is pro-regime. I'll show you, since you brought it up. The USS, this is the Iran Observer. The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft has pulled back about 1,400 kilometers from Iran's coast. The aircraft carrier is still within the range. Of course, they're going to put that of their missiles. Of course, they're going to put that part. So to answer your question, there's a lot of chatter about that. Take it for what it's worth. So yes, there's a lot of that going around. I'm still trying to see if we get any information about this. Oh shit, the news. Do I still have News 12? Nope, I don't have it on my TV. Francis or Mike or anybody else, please keep an eye and notify me if Tusi's scheduling one live. Greeting from the Gurneys and the Channel Islands. Can you tell me what Steve Witkoff takes back from Israel to Iran? Do they tell them what they wanted for a deal, and will Iran reply before meeting? Those are great questions. That's what we're all asking. Many of us are asking ourselves. That's why I'm keeping an eye. The Israelis want missiles part of this and cut off the money to the proxies. I would say that and the nuclear, those are the three main. There is actually four, but those are the three main. And I don't know if they're putting that on the table. We don't know. Let me see Fox News. Hold on. They're in a commercial break. It's the top of the hour. They might talk about it right at the top. I think they would. I'm gonna keep an eye on Fox News right now. Nothing on Tusi yet? Yeah, Tammy. And send your husband. I know you spoke to him recently. Restate to him that we send our love to him. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Alert. What is going on? Oh, no, this is something to do with Minnesota. Oh, why is that happening now? The circle? Really? Hold on.
FBI Director Dan Bongino calling body...
All right. They're talking about something domestic. I'm going to keep an eye. I'm not going to... You guys can watch this screen. As you can see, it's getting dark now in Iran. Yeah, that is crazy that they took a cargo ship and they constructed... They made it into like a drone carrier. It looks so ridiculous.
It's 18 degrees.
Alexa, stop.
Right now.
It looks bizarre when you look at the aerial image of it. You could tell it was a cargo ship. And they built. Oh, like I said, that mariachi video, the new one that came out. Alexa, stop.
While the Islanders lost to the
Alexa, please stop. That other new version of the mariachi video that came out, I tear up every time I see it. Tear up. We all know these demands cannot happen because in every possible deal that means either no deterrence through missiles at the least. I agree. Totally agree. Nothing more. Move along. Nothing to see here. So yes, this is a situation. Pictures are gonna see he had a gun. I don't know. The little trumpet solo as the missiles were coming up out of position. So, like I said, wait a minute. Oh, that was a lamppost. I thought that was a UFO. I was going to say, wait a minute. He's standing there. It looked like a UFO was behind him. It was a lamppost. I was thinking of Wild E, Coyote, Roadrunner, Missile, Acme, all kinds of things when I saw that. I was like, this is so weird, but it's so bizarre, but it's real. I keep thinking of Austin Powers, looking at something like that and watching little mini me run out or something. It is so bizarre. Poor Alex. Oh, don't want to say the word. I gotta put more wood in the fire. Alexa, what's the temperature? Oh.
It's 19 degrees right now with a high of 32 and a low of 14 today.
Pause. If I talk right after, it responds.
Follow up.
Oh, Alexa, stop! I'm waiting on Fox News. And I didn't pause long enough. You had to see about 2 months ago, I was live doing other stuff, Sky Watches or whatever. I don't remember what it was. It whispered back to me. And let me tell you, that was super creepy. It actually whispered. And I was like, what the? Why is it whispering? Martin, what? Oh my gosh. That's funny, dude. Oh my, oh my. Oh, by the way, a little update. New email. You can contact me. Make Iran Great 99. 99 is Aaron Judge's number. You know what I'm saying? I made a little connection there. Because I think he's great. Make Iran Great 99 at yahoo.com. You can contact me there. Make Iran Great 99 at yahoo.com. There you go. You can reach out to me. Snaz. You divorced yours? Oh my gosh. I should call Commander. Let me see if he'd come on with me maybe tonight. Get his latest assessment, what he thinks. Do I dare call him at the base? Oops. Sorry I said that. Oh my God, might have to delete the stream. Fuck. It doesn't matter. That's a little slip. I didn't say what, where. He's not going to answer. He's at work. I don't want to drive the guy crazy. I know you're at work. I hate to bother you at work, but I'm live. Do you see, with all the talk and chatter going, it's a quick question. I'm live. They can hear you. Do you think that a deal is going to be made, or do you think that we're still going to hit Iran? Just a quick question. What's your?
I think it's both.
Really? So it can be both?
I think it's going to be both.
Okay. I know you're at work. I'm not going to bother you. I just wanted to get your input quickly. And if you would like to join me tonight or tomorrow, just you and I, let me know. Hit me up. Text me.
Copy.
Love you. Wow. He thinks it can be both. That was an interesting quick thing. That doesn't help. He thinks it both could be possible. Hey. Don't be picking on my captain of the Yankees now. Yeah, he just said that. And he's involved in ways. He said it twice. I said, really? Yes, I think it'll be both. Yeah, that's what he just said. We'll have to get him on later and maybe dig a little more into that why, the why part. One thing, I trust my friend. I've known him for a long time. He is one person. That is one person that that man has done so much for me and my family. I can't even tell you what kind of a friend he is to me. And he's trustworthy, loyal. He is definitely a person you would love to have as a friend. I'm going to tell you that right now for so many reasons. That man that I just spoke to. He's an amazing person. And his wife, and they're all military. The whole family's like military. You would think by now after 20, yes, if they wanted, when they would already, Manhattan Project took 5 years. That's right, Doug. Absolutely dead, Mike. Can you, like I said, I've been saying that numerous times. I would have to think the people of Iran are feeling pretty disappointed by the nuclear talks and not anything about human rights part of it. Absolutely. Last night, Trump had jets on his desk. Remember, the president has said we can take action and talk afterwards. He has said that in the past. I remember him, I'm paraphrasing, but I could look it up. He has said stuff like that in the past. I'm just saying. You guys are bringing up very valid points, and I agree. I agree. He said help is on the way, but then all he talks about is nuclear. But I think it's the nuclear is what everybody's focused on, but I would imagine that the missile program, the money to the proxies, obviously those that are detained and what the cruelty, all that, the prisons, that was supposed to be part of it. Immediate release of everyone being held in Iran. I don't know if that's still on the table, but that originally was part of it. Even I question it now. I can't imagine what the people of Iran or Iranians living outside the country are thinking right now. I mean, oh my God. I'm sure they feel betrayed, abandoned, etc. I mean, what? How could they not? With all the talk and it's like, I don't want to say misinformation, but mixed signals is where I was going. I mean, what are they to think right now? And trust me, that spills into anger, frustration, and in the long term, it can be really bad for us in this country. The ramifications of not doing anything for so many reasons is bad. So many. I mean, we could speak for hours just on picking apart each reason. What the hell did they put this? Why did they put this? What the fuck is this video?
America is a nation that can be defined in a...
Oh my God, now they're using Biden's words. Oh my God. Oh. That's, you know why they're doing that, right? To try to make similarities between Biden and President Trump. That's why they're doing it now. I'm sure Obama will be next. Holy. No, what are they saying now? Israeli officials say Israel will ensure that any deal with the U.S. would include Iran.
So, Billy, come here.
Oh, God. Israel officials say Israel will ensure that any deal with the U.S. would include Iran giving up its ballistic missile program. If Iran does not agree to this, Israel will strike unilaterally. Let me add, that's coming from CNN. That just came out. I told you that Israel would act unilaterally. Why wouldn't they? But that does make sense, even though it's coming from CNN. Oh my gosh!
So Billy, home here.
I'll be right back.
Mom.
Mom is not feeling good. Mom is not feeling well. I told her, call me. Commercial in progress on Fox. War News says, this dude needs some chill pills, high strung. I'm a hyper person naturally. Goes with the territory. I don't even know what it means to relax. And now they're saying it too. An Israeli report is reporting it too. Israeli sources to CNN, Israel will demand that Tehran give up enriched uranium and completely abandon their ballistic missile program. That's a non-starter. It's not going to happen. There's no way they're going to reach a deal if that's on the table. 12 minutes ago from Fox, we got in the U.S. I'll hit that right now while I watch for Fox. Yeah, that's that live now, Fox. That's a little different.
Right now, though, we are going to stay in that region at 9 o'clock on the East Coast and 6 o'clock on the West Coast. As of right now, the president of Iran says that he's open to talks with the U.S., and that could happen later this week in Istanbul.
Yeah.
Iran's president saying earlier today that he instructed the country's foreign minister to, quote, pursue fair and equitable negotiations with the U.S.
That's actually old news. But I appreciate that, Navi. Who was it, Sean? Sean, I appreciate that. That Fox Now, they broadcast as live, but a lot of it is repeated. It's a rebroadcast. It loops. How do I know? Because I've watched it on YouTube. Commercial break in progress. I'm waiting to see if they mention it live Fox News. I'm watching the live Fox feed. So far, nothing. Exactly. Iran would never accept that deal. That's part of their deterrence. You know what I mean? How could you... I mean, do you think in their right mind, for them, their position, that they're just going to give up their missiles? That's the whole point of their deterrence right now. Uh-oh, here we go. We're coming back from Fox. Let's see. No. Not yet. It looks like a lot of weird stuff went on in the Grammys, huh? Billie I don't know who the hell that is. Slam for stolen land comment? What the hell was that about? They're talking about it right now. I don't have the audio on, but Billy Elish? Who is that? Some kind of a performer? No, she's a singer and songwriter. No one is illegal on stolen land. I guess that's what she said. I don't know who that is. I don't watch the Grammys. I don't listen to really modern music like today's music. I don't even know who this person is. Accused of hypocrisy for anti-ICE remark. God is the strongest and will protect him. If we pull it, they said they pulled the carrier back 1,400 kilometers, but then Iran added, they're still within range. She makes good music. I'm not familiar. Tammy, don't cry. Please don't cry. Just hang in there. I know it's difficult for you with your husband. Just hang in there. Be strong. He would want you to be strong. You know that. He would want you to be strong. Fox alert. What's this? What is... Oh, no. The speaker's ahead of House vote. He's speaking right now. For those in the U.S., you want to hear this?
By the leaders here this morning, we did fund ICE operations for a few years now.
So this is about the funding for the government? He's talking about that right now. We're focused on Iran specifically right now, but that's what he's probably alluding to. Speaker Johnson speaks ahead of House vote. The funding, that's what that's got to be about. Nothing's happening right now. This has to do with domestic issues in the United States. Let me keep checking, though. Don't forget, keep me informed about Tusi. He's probably sitting back and waiting for any information, if any, coming out of this meeting. If I had to guess, he's probably on standby too to see if there's anything to report on it. If I had to guess. And what would Israel do? You heard what the report is to CNN, that Israel would act unilaterally if missiles is not part of this. So this one's saying 37 seconds ago, and again, this is old news, that he arrived in Israel. I have to keep an eye on Fox. The speaker is still speaking. As nighttime approaches. Nothing unusual. Nothing new coming out. Well, this one is reporting right now, Witkoff and Netanyahu meet in Israel, reports 2 minutes ago. I'm sure the Israeli reporters are going to be putting stuff out. So I'm just going to keep an eye on Fox. They still have the Speaker of the House. They're putting out U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is currently in Israel meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the head of Mossad David Barnea, and the Israeli Minister of Defense Yisrael Katz. The Israelis are telling Witkoff their demands for any upcoming U.S.-Iran deal. So you know their focus is going to be on Israel. No donation button here. No super chats here. I don't do that for that. Something strange is going on with an aircraft in Europe. Emergencies, delays, cancellations, diversion. Are you saying that's in relation to what happened in Ukraine last night? Okay, so they stopped covering the speaker's little briefing. Wow. A lot of presence in Poland. Like last night, there were NATO planes flying around. Absolutely no air traffic over there. That's common. A lot of the traffic is here. Look how they avoid this airspace. Okay, Fox is on a commercial break. Just a little empty. There's no indication that any attack is imminent. None. Zero. Wise man, I'm with you on that comment. You got to look at the international. Let's see what's going on in the UAE. A lot of air traffic. A lot of air traffic at their international in Qatar. Lots. Lots. I think everyone is, like I said, they're just sitting back and waiting to see if and when this meeting happens in Turkey. I think that's what it's coming down to right now. Now, for this time, look at all the air traffic over Iran. It's a lot. Yes, Sean. I agree with that. Yes, and Tammy, you're right. As far as Ukraine, Al Jazeera is funded by Qatar. So take that for what that's worth. Any news network is better than Twitter. Twitter is, I mean, it's loaded with so much misinformation, and it really is. It's hard to filter out anything. That's why it takes time to try to pick and choose things that are in there. It is. But not any news network is better than Twitter, because the mainstream media here, Qatar and USA are tight. What about Qatar's connection to Hamas? Funding? They're kind of like the two side players too. So, you know, Turkey is the worst though. In my opinion, I still think they shouldn't be part of NATO. But they were one of the founding members. They were one of the early nations involved with NATO. They were. We can actually look that part up. They're one of the early nations that were involved in NATO. So the status. Turkey joined NATO on February 18th, 1952. Goes way back. Yep, way back. I don't know if that adds any. Oh, what is that? Nothing. Let me go back to Fox Live. Commercial break still in the progress. Doug says, has Witkoff and Kushner made one deal that has actually worked yet? Snowstorm causing air traffic problems for Frankfurt, Germany. Not seeing. Oh, a lot of countries pulled out their personnel from the embassies. Many. Wise man. Uh-oh. Fox is back. Fox News alert. Oh. I can't believe that. It's a half hour in and Fox's mom and didn't even mention about the meeting yet in Israel. That kind of is surprising to me. We're a half hour in and they still haven't even mentioned it. And you know that the president does tune into Fox, amongst other outlets, but they're not even mentioning it yet, a half hour in. I wonder if that's for a reason. Oh yeah, embassies in Iran have been evacuating. Yes, there have been countries that are telling their people to get out. Uh-oh, another Fox News alert. Oh, God. Oh, this one. Accused Kirk assassin set to appear in court. Jesus Christ. Tyler Robinson is in court. This might be of interest to the American audience.
Last time there were snipers on the roof, and Robinson is usually escorted in an armored caravan. Now today, inside court, we expect more witness interviews in relation to Robinson's defense team requesting the entire Utah County Attorney's Office be disqualified from this case. Robinson's defense argues the office should be removed because one of the attorney's 18-year-old daughter was in the crowd at Kirk's assassination on September 10th. The Utah County Attorney's Office argues it can continue to prosecute Kirk's killing because the daughter was 85 feet away and they don't even plan on calling her as a witness. Now, some critics and legal analysts say this is all an intentional delay.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. How is that relevant? How the hell is that relevant? Oh my gosh. That makes me like, what?
And a delay tactic could be, in part, because the death penalty is on the table in this case, as Robinson is charged with aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing bodily injury, 2 counts of obstruction of justice, 2 counts of witness tampering, and a violent offense committed in the presence of a child. Now, Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica, has filed the notice, urging the court not to delay anymore. And also, Erica is urging meaningful media access. Her attorney writing yesterday, Ms. Kirk respectfully urges the court to deny any unnecessary requests to limit public or media access and to ensure that courtroom proceedings remain open to the fullest extent. Court begins at 1 p.m. local, 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here. We'll keep you updated. Dana.
Oh my God, that's just batshit nuts. I mean, really? No, but this is of interest to those here in the United States. I'm sure there's some people here that are interested in that little news segment. So that's why I played it. I mean, obviously the focus here is in what's going on in the Middle East with Iran. No Tusi still? Tusi's waiting. Tusi's waiting. He's waiting to see what happens, like I am and some of you, to see if we hear anything that comes out of the Netanyahu-Witkoff meeting. I would put money on that. And probably going into what does Israel do if it's just about nuclear. And, you know, there's a lot of other things going on, too, with Hezbollah in Lebanon. There's other things. I'm sure he's going to touch on what happened in Ukraine, I would think, last night. Despite the president saying that Putin agreed to cease for a week, well, that didn't last too long. A pause because of the extreme cold weather. And what does he target? Infrastructure that is related to heat and the weather. Like totally the opposite. You know? And yeah, you guys have, like I said, I don't want to start this whole thing, but I know that some people might have been interested in that. I'm not saying everyone. That's why I said some. You know what I mean? I'm trying to stay neutral and objective, and I know there's a lot of opinions, and you're all entitled to your opinions. I'm just putting it out there. I need to put wood in the fire. But that's not our focus here today. The focus is on Iran. Oh, no. Yeah.
You know what's fucking annoying, bro, and excuse my language?
What?
That when I wasn't here, I come back, right, and nobody uses that bathroom. Like, nobody uses that bathroom, bro. And that shit is deserted, bro. Spider web's dirty, bro. Like, deserted. You can tell nobody's been there, bro. And now, anybody goes into that bathroom, bro, like, at least, bro, has some decency, bro.
I never used that bathroom.
Bro, I don't give a fuck who it is, bro. I don't care. I'm not calling people's name, bro. It's just fucking annoying, bro, that I'm giving you money, bro, and I gotta go in there, bro, and the toilet's full of shit, bro. When I wasn't here, nobody used that bathroom, bro. You feel me? I don't care, bro.
I understand that, but be easy. I'm live. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm live. I get it. I understand.
You feel me, bro? Like,
yes, I understand.
Bathroom and the stove, bro. Like, bro, I'm giving you money, bro.
I understand.
Under you.
So
it's just aggravating that if I wake up in the morning, how you expect me to be self-composed?
No, I get what you're saying, but
it's
you know.
fucked up, bro. Like, dude, like, bro, no, bro. Like, do everything else. Do whatever the fuck you want, bro. Put a fucking bag in front of my fucking door so I don't get out of the room.
I understand what you're saying.
Stove,
that must have been Mom. I know. I get what you're saying.
It's not the first time, bro. But what bothers me that when I wasn't here, that shit was deserted, bro. Literally, bro. I had to fucking clean the whole
I get your point.
Damn, bro. That shit is fucked up, bro. That shit got me twisted right now.
Why is he talking like that? Because that's how sometimes he talks. I know all you heard it too. No, it's okay. I'm going to deal with this situation in a minute. He's talking to me. And I think I'm going to address that now because now I'm burning. You know what I mean? Now I'm burning. So I'll be right back. Okay. I said what I had to say. I'm back. Commercial break in progress. I'm a person, you know, obviously. I'm not going to accept what just happened and made it clear. Oh, no, I'm calm. Because the mole knows I'll flip. No. I took care of it the right way. By the way, I'm Persian and as a kid went to Jewish school. Wow. Ada. And hello, Georgia on my mind. Okay, it's still a commercial. I'm surprised Fox has not brought it up yet. I'm really surprised. 40 minutes in. Nothing. I'm like, what? I would have thought that would have made news here. I guess not. So they're saying that the meeting has taken place. It's happening now. I don't know how updated this is. Another one saying that the meeting has begun. That was a half hour ago, actually. No, 20 minutes ago. They're all reporting that now, that the meeting has started. You know, when he says something, I'm just thinking about it. If he talks like that, if he doesn't like it, you know what the answer is, right? You can fucking leave. Leave. If you don't like it here, find someplace else. Right? Very simple. I wanted to hold my tongue because I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But I'm ready to tell him that right now. If you don't like it fucking here, get out. You should be thankful that you're here instead of that kind of response. I'm ready to say it. But I really am restraining myself. I mean, this is my house. If you don't like it, get out. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? I see your comments. No, Sean. And you might want to contact me at the new one. This is the new email. MakeIranGreat99@yahoo.com. Right there. So if you want to contact me, you can contact me right there. Let me see the news. Okay. Another alert. Finally something. Finally.
And Jared Kushner will meet with Iran's foreign minister on Friday as both sides look to avoid a possible military confrontation. What will come of this, if anything? State Department Jillian Turner is on that today. Hello.
Hi, good morning to you, Bill. This just into the newsroom as well. Iran's president now appears to be walking back at least some of the crazy put forward by the Ayatollah yesterday. This perhaps an effort to get back into the United States' good graces ahead of those talks that will kick off Friday. Here's what the Iranian president posted overnight in part, quote, he says, I have instructed my Minister of Foreign Affairs to pursue fair and equitable negotiations guided by the principles of dignity, prudence, and expediency. Well, that is a far cry from the Ayatollah yesterday, who blamed America and world Jewry for the murder of thousands of civilian protests on the ground inside Iran for the whole world to see. Here's a sampling of what the Ayatollah posted yesterday. The recent sedition was orchestrated by Zionists and the U.S. I was informed through a certain channel that the CIA and Mossad deployed all of their resources into the field. All of that obviously untrue, but nevertheless, President Trump is pushing through, trying to get to the negotiating table.
The Supreme Leader today said that U.S. attack could spark a regional war. Do you have any response to that?
Why wouldn't he say that? Of course you're going to say that, but we have the biggest, most powerful ships in the world over there, very close, a couple of days, and hopefully we'll make a deal. If we don't make a deal,
That was Sunday.
We'll find out whether or not he was right.
Fox can confirm Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, as you mentioned, are going to meet with Iran's foreign minister face-to-face in Turkey with other officials come Friday. Now, Bill, there's also this, the regime now appearing also overnight to offer what could be perceived as a concession ahead of those talks. They are insisting that none of their enriched uranium has ever left Iranian soil. They have not exported it to any of their allies around the world, and that moving forward, they will not do so either. Whether that's true or not, nobody knows, but there it is.
Yeah, enter Putin. Jillian, thank you very much. Something to watch, and we shall. Thank you.
And here, it's been over a week since more than a...
That's it. That's it. That's all they said. That's it. For real. They could have done that on the phone. It's crazy. It is crazy. Okay, they're just saying that the meeting is taking place right now. So they're in the meeting right now. Now it's a waiting game to see if there's any comments made. They like somebody said earlier, you may hear nothing. Nothing. Zero. Trump confirms talks with Cuba. Interesting. Let me see if he's posting anything on Truth Social. Yep, it is on Truth Social. And he reposted a Fox News clip. 53 minutes ago, he also shared a Fox News clip. Trump weighs diplomacy with Iran amid rising tensions. Those are the last two he put. Let me see the Fox video on Cuba. Hold on. It's a short clip.
Okay, the buildup
Let
downtown
me stop
is
Fox.
so big now in terms of the trash on the streets. We have rats.
I can't believe they only gave it those few minutes to talk about that. Wow.
I want the people that came here that were horribly treated by Cuba to be taken care of, to be able to go back and do what they have to do. They have their family there. They haven't been able to see them in years, many, many years. So I think we're going to make a deal with Cuba.
That was from Sunday. That's pretty. He just reposted that 54 minutes ago. But he did repost it. Same thing with Iran. Which one is this? Is this the one that Navi put in earlier? This is Fox News, not Fox News Now. Let me see what this one is relaying to.
Iran says it has summoned all of the European Union ambassadors in the country to protest the bloc's listing of the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, as a terror group. President Trump says Iran is now seriously talking with the United States, even as he highlights the presence of powerful American naval forces in the region. Our chief national security correspondent, Jennifer Griffin, has details tonight.
This is last night.
After a warning from CENTCOM, Iran now says it has no plans to carry out live-fire exercises in the Strait of Hormuz.
It's old news.
Despite announcing last week the IRGC Navy would be holding drills in the narrow strait. In the Red Sea, the guided missile destroyer USS Delbert D. Black conducted a joint military exercise with Israel Sunday.
Americans should know that if they start a war, this time it will be a regional war.
President Trump said he plans to give negotiations a chance.
Right now we're talking to them, we're talking to Iran, and if we can work something out, that'd be great. And if we can't, probably bad things would happen.
Talks are slated for Friday in Istanbul. They will be led by U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff, who is en route to Israel to meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu. The UN nuclear watchdog says Iran still has 972 pounds of highly enriched uranium, enough for 10 bombs. The head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council says Iran will not transfer its highly enriched uranium outside of the country and won't agree to limit the range of its missiles. Trump allies and Iran hawks are putting pressure on the White House in the wake of the Iranian regime's deadly protest crackdown.
President Trump, you said help is on the way. That has to be real. It has to be real soon. You're Reagan plus. This is the defining moment in your presidency. Stand by the people. The Ayatollah falls. The region changes. Bigger than the fall of the Berlin Wall.
The Trump administration has long criticized the Obama administration for negotiating a nuclear deal that ignored Iran's ballistic missile stockpile. Israel has also urged the U.S. to focus on Iran's ballistic missiles, John.
Well, we'll see.
And there's that. So that's what the president reposted on True Social like an hour ago. But you got to remember, this is a lot of regurgitation. I mean, the head, the mind, everything could take just so much. You know what I mean? It's like, can be overwhelming. That's what a lot of people are concerned about. That there will be a deal and the regime stays intact. All right, I'll check. But yeah, that's really, it's like one day it's one thing, it's confusing. It really is. It can make your head spin, literally. It really, literally can make a head spin. It's almost like to go out, get a fresh breath of air, and that's even if we hear anything. Period. I see what you're putting in, Sean. Wow. Thank you for that link. I will do that away from this. not even that old. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. I will definitely check that out later on downtime. Sean, thank you. And like I said, it's an honor. Master says he still thinks there won't be a deal. No news from the meeting yet. That's what, and we may not get any news. But the Israeli reaction, I'm sure, from the reporters that I follow from Israel on the phone, I'm sure they're going to be on top of that and try to see if they can ask Netanyahu or anybody else who was part of that meeting. Not that they're going to say anything, but you know they're going to be interested because this is really the national security interest of Israel, obviously. So they're going to be on top of it. I'm constantly refreshing to see if there's any new information, but we may not hear anything at all. Like someone said in chat, it can be completely secret and they don't have to say anything. And I'm keeping an eye on the Israeli information. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing from Israel that I follow. It's 11 a.m. here. And they're all reporting that the meeting is happening right now, but I don't know how updated this information is. They're all reporting it. Witkoff's meeting with Netanyahu and the leaders of Israel's security agencies has started. I should put I-24 on and just check. Now I was going to make another statement to somebody in the house, but the door is locked, so I'll make the statement another way. Artemis 2 has been pushed back to March. due to hydrogen leaks. Wow. I just wrote to the person, if you throw money in conversation about housekeeping stories to me again, you should consider leaving and going elsewhere. That has me thinking. I don't tolerate bullshit. Okay, what is this? Nothing important. Nope, nothing important. Okay. Let me see if I find anything else. Nothing. I mean, this can go on for how many hours? Oh, shit. 29 seconds ago, U.S. officials tell Axios, it's really the Israelis who want to strike Iran. President Trump is just not there, and he really does not want to do it. I don't know if that's true. But that's what they're saying here, according to Axios. That's a little alarming. So, being that it's 11 a.m., let's see what something came out of Israel. Nothing. Delivered to original sender. I don't even know what the hell that means now. A package. So, what I think Tusi's probably waiting for the meeting to conclude. That's what I'm thinking too. So instead of just sitting here and just waiting and waiting and waiting, I think I'm going to pretty much do the same thing that Tusi's probably doing. Wait to see if there's any word. Because just sitting here and the wait, we don't know how long this is going to take. We don't even know if anything's going to come out. Does it make sense? So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll take a break, address the issues that are going on internally, personally here, and see if Tusi goes live first and see what Tusi has to say. But I'll keep an eye to see if any information comes out, because I have actually other work. I have to do work related. So that's what I think I'm going to do right now. Just hold off and just wait to see if any information comes out, because that's where we're at pretty much. Anyway, to anybody who's watching, everyone, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, day, night, whatever it is. Be well, be blessed, be safe. And I'll jump back if I hear anything going on, any breaking news like that is confirmed and credible. And I'll also keep an eye on Tusi. So until then, you all enjoy the rest of your day, however you do.